Quote of the day. How do you know that this is the experience that you need? Because this is the experience that you're having at the moment. Is it on? Oh, hey guys! Hey! It's me. I'm back again for another week. I hope you guys had a great week, and I hope you guys took some time to create some motivation for yourselves, to push yourselves into a better space this week. So this week's quote comes from Eckhart Tolle. He is an author. He is a spiritual guru, I guess you could say. I don't know what his official title is, but he's pretty amazing. It comes from his book, A New Beginning, which I have not read. But I heard this quote from the book on Oprah's Super Soul Sunday Talks, which is a podcast that Oprah runs, which, of course, it's Oprah. It's amazing. But so if you ever get an opportunity to listen to that podcast, I definitely suggest it. And I definitely suggest Eckhart Tolle's episode. Also, Maya Angelou's episode is amazing. Maya Angelou is like, she definitely holds a place in my heart. Rest in peace, Maya Angelou. So if you ever get the opportunity to listen to it, definitely check it out. But so I chose this quote because it really resonated with me, because I really feel that we always end up where we're supposed to be. And we always want to rush into the next step. We always want to rush to the end. We always want to find out where does this story take me? Where do I go from here? We always want to know what the next step is. Like, even if we're miles ahead of where we used to be, we're still not happy where we are. We're still trying to figure out where do we end up. But so this quote is saying that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And how do you know that you're supposed to be there? Because you're there. This is exactly where you're supposed to be. Where else would you be? Where else could you be? I mean, yes, life takes twists and turns, and it may not be always in your favor, but it is always in your favor, whether you know it or not. Each stage, whether it was a struggle, whether it was a tough time, whether it was just like an excellent experience, it teaches you something. Our job is to learn what we're supposed to be learning from this. Our job is to pick and choose and look back at these experiences once we've had them and say, okay, what was I supposed to learn from that experience? It's when we don't do that, when we don't look back, when we don't analyze what we're supposed to learn from these experiences, that we carry on and we continue to make these same mistakes. I don't want to call them mistakes, because they're not always mistakes, but we continue to have the same experience until we learn what we're supposed to learn from it. So right now, you may not be where you thought you would be 10 years ago. You may not be in a great situation. You may not be financially stable. You may be in a bad relationship. But this moment right now is exactly where you're supposed to be. This moment right now is teaching you something. You just have to ask yourself, what am I learning? What am I supposed to be grabbing from this? There's always something to learn from the moment that you're in. And yes, I understand that everything that I say is much easier said than done. Like, no, when I'm broke, when I'm trying to put $3 of gas in my car, no, I'm not thinking about, okay, what is this moment trying to teach me? That is not at all what I'm thinking. That is not the thought process that goes through my head. But at the end of the day, I have to think back and say, okay, maybe it's trying to teach me to budget my money a little better. Maybe it's trying to teach me to how to survive when I have not necessarily what I need. Maybe it's trying to teach me, I don't know. I still am working on that. But I don't know what it's trying to teach me, but it's my job to find that out. So I don't really have any tips for how to figure that out. all we can do is look back and actually think about it, and all the relationships you've had, everyone that you've met, everyone that you've come across, every job that you've been at, every class that you've been in has taught you something. Every single one. All the exes, you can hate them, love them, whatever. You've learned something from that relationship. And you can either choose to allow that to hinder you or to help you. And I suggest you let it help you. I suggest you learn a great lesson from it and you carry it on into whatever phase is next for you. And that's all I got. I'm going to keep it pretty short this week. I hope you guys have a great week, and I'm signing off. Bye, guys. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, by the way, shout out to LaDawn for being the first person to comment on last week's post. If you felt moved by this post, or if you have any comments or concerns or questions, feel free to comment below. Or you can watch my last video here or subscribe here. So I'll see you next time, guys. Have a good week.